It's Song Talk Radio.
Welcome to Song Talk Radio, the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, and techniques, and together we all become better at writing songs. Dialing in from our Toronto headquarters, I'm Neil Modi, and with me, my co-host, Phil Emery. How you doing, Phil?
I'm kind of happy today because we actually got some sun the last couple of days. So that was kind of a nice change here in St. John's, Newfoundland. We don't get a lot of sun, but when you do, you really enjoy it. So sunny days are here again.
Sunny St. John's. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Not too bad.
All right. And for everyone else, please send your comments, questions, weather reports at Song Talk Radio on Facebook or Instagram, or feedback at songtalk.ca for the email, and we'll share your thoughts on the show. And please visit songtalk.ca to see the show post for this episode, to find links to resources we mention, and to download lyric and chord sheets to follow along with the songs that we feature. Tonight, we're very happy to welcome Brent Jackson, the lead singer and songwriter of the Toronto-based band Sunshine Makers. How you doing, Brent?
I'm all right. Yeah, it's nice to be here. Nice to virtually be here. And yeah, I second that it's a great day out there. So
yeah, beautiful. And 30 degrees, they say, in Toronto here tomorrow. So hey.
Duck.
Yes. Okay, and before we get to Brent's great stuff, just another announcement for our songwriting challenge for 2025, which is to write a song in an odd time signature. And of course, you can check out the resource page at songtalk.ca. We got some videos, some old episodes, and our launch episode that we did a few weeks ago with composer Frank Horvat. And some great stuff to learn yourself up on. And we haven't set a deadline for the challenge answers yet, but we'll let you know. Just stay tuned. And we'll post it on that webpage as well. And of course,
get started early.
Yeah, get started early, play around with it a little bit, try some odd time signature beats and things like that, and just, fool around with it a little bit and get sort of some experimentation going before you get into an official song. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's going to be a great challenge, I think.
I think so. Absolutely. Of course, we'll be sharing our songs first, and then we'll invite our listeners. Well, we'll invite our listeners before then, but we'll showcase our listeners' songs, which of course we've done in the past few years. Of course, you can on the resources page too, on the songtalks.ca, you can check out all of the songwriting challenges we've done in previous years. Have all been a blast, and it's a great opportunity for all of us to learn from each other, including our listeners. So it's an awesome time. Yeah. All right. Okay, so tonight we're going to be hearing and talking about Brent's song Rock With Me. And he says, this song is intended to remind us that the love we have for each other is stronger than our pride. Love takes work. If we can overcome our egos, we can remember why love is the most powerful gift we can experience. And remember, you can find the lyric sheet on the show post at songtalk.ca to follow along. And here we go. Nice.
Very nice. Very effective use of a pre-chorus, which is kind of fun. The it's true, baby. You let it shine, which it almost seems like it's a chorus until the chorus hits, but it really does set up the chorus really nicely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I feel I do appreciate a good pre-chorus. Sometimes they come natural, sometimes they don't, so I don't always use them. But in that case, it came pretty easy, and I felt very, very good about that pre-chorus. I enjoy singing that part, and yeah, the song that song came together pretty quick. So
yeah. Did it all sort of happen together, like lyrics and melody and chord shapes and all that sort of stuff, or was it something that started it off at the outset?
Yeah, it was one of those ones that just came to me really quick. I remember sort of picking up the guitar one night, and then it just came out. And I normally what I do is I just grab my phone if I feel that I've got something that I think is worthwhile, and then I'll just record on the voice memo, sort of something with gibberish. But I think with that song, that chorus came out pretty immediate. I think that the melody was there, and some of the lyrics actually came from the gibberish, and which is something that I normally do, where I'll just sort of see how I feel about, internally as I'm listening back to the music that I'm writing, and if there's something that sticks out, it might be my subconscious trying to tell me something, and then I'll act on it. And the lyric writing definitely comes much later. I don't focus on it until I feel it needs to either be performed live, or if I, of course, have to record it. But
okay.
the structure usually happens. I pay attention to how the chords make me feel, how the song makes me feel, and if I'm interested in pursuing it.
So when you do like a gibberish melody, like does it, when you eventually get to writing the lyrics, does your melody tweak at that point, or are you pretty adamant that your melody is strong and you want to fit the lyrics to it?
I fit the lyrics into the melody. Yeah, maybe a few syllables might change. I might add or subtract something, but I'm very much a melody person. But I'm also very much a lyrical person too. Like, I do believe in a message, but sometimes, what I want to try and convey in 3 minutes, I've got to be pretty precise with it, because there's not that much time, and I also want to make it accessible to people so that they can understand it. And I also believe in minimalism, so I try and get the meat and potatoes in some sort of poetic way, so it sort of satisfies the artistic approach that I want to put into my music, and so that it's not just careless. I want it to be intentional, but I also want people to be able to sing along. So,
yeah, well, I mean, I work much the same way. I'm a lyric, basically, when you have to perform it live or record it, mainly because you can get away with a whole bunch of stuff before that point, and the music is always the most fun. There's so many different parts to this song, which is nice. There's not the chorus repeats enough so that it becomes a chorus, and it becomes that earworm. But there's like lots of bits and of changes and mood changes. It's really nice. Do you generally have lots of changes in your songs?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes, like, because essentially it's R&B music, and I do believe in writing. I like the 3-4 chord sort of progression throughout, and then using additional instruments to sort of create the colors and the changes. I always do appreciate the ability to find other vocal melodies in the same chord progressions. And some of the music that I write just naturally happens that way. With that song, I think it seems to be a little bit more involved. So I think, but again, it's just based on sort of feeling. I feel that most of the songs that I end up seeing through to the end are songs that I can grasp and understand within a matter of minutes. I've sort of hit a point where if it becomes work to try and understand it, then I sort of surrender, and I just believe that another song is going to come down the road. But yeah, as far as this song particularly, it might be one of maybe the more involved on the recording, but there's other ones on the new record that are like that. It's a bit more exploratory on this record than on our last record. So a large reason is because this record is recorded with a band, and the last one was just me in a studio with friends and additional sort of collaborations that people sent me their bits and pieces, and I strung it together. But this one, I really wanted to create that sort of a mix of the new with the old, because I am a big fan of 70s and Motown and Marvin Gaye and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted it to come out a little bit more in this new material.
Can you talk a little bit about the collaboration with the band? Because it's like are the songs completely written by the time you get together with the band in the recording studio, or is there something that goes on like with the horn arrangements and things like that?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I write all the music before it gets to the band. So basically, what I leave for their creative input happens in the time that the song exists. So like that song, for example, I would have found the start to the finish, and I would have come to them in the jam space, and we would have developed it as a band. But as far as the songs go, I'm pretty I sort of feel I am at a point where I understand where I want my songs to go. And it's not that I don't want to share that with people, but I also know that it can create more time and unnecessary spent time when I feel that that's sort of the role that I provide in the band, is to be able to come up with the songs and say, hey, look, here, whatever bass line you wish to play it in here, and that kind of thing. The horn lines, I actually sang all those horn lines into my phone, and then I sent them as vocal voice messages to the horn players that are on the record. And
like, so just the top line or the whole harmony stack?
So I would sing the individual low, the high, I would sing the harmony, and then I would sort of group it and say, this is it. So I have on my phone all those me singing all the horn lines. But yeah, it's like the first true, like the whole record, there's 10 tracks on it, and all 10 tracks have horn arrangements. And I'm pretty proud to say that not only did I write the songs, I did come up with the horn arrangements too. So it's kind of neat.
Did the songs go through a lot of editing, like in the studio itself, or was it pretty well? The songs were what they were, and you just recorded what you had?
We recorded what we had. We had sessions leading up to the recording where we basically would take 2 or 3 tracks per evening, and just, we already had the structure and the BPM that I had already sort of predetermined. So there was almost like an acoustic demo version that was given to the band. And then they basically, spent their own time when we would get together in the studio, so we knew what we were working with. I had already preconceived the track listing too, so we were basically really, really prepared by the time that we got into the studio. But we didn't track live, as cool as it would have been, especially with a band like that. It was still done separate, but I just worked with the engineer, and I sort of had it in my head as how I wanted it to be. And the additional sort of layer to the production of it probably came from the mix. So I sent it off to a friend of mine to mix it, and there was some cool mixing choices that happened beyond the initial roughs that he would have received. So
perhaps more of a technical question, but were the final recordings based, like like the acoustic demos you did? Do you use that as a template for the recordings, or do you start from scratch as far as recording is concerned once you got in the studio, like lay down the drums first kind of thing?
Yeah, in some cases we built on them and then erased.
Like you would erase your demo stuff at the end, but
yeah, none of the demo would have ended up making it in, but found it very very helpful for knowing where we wanted to be. And it was also helpful for me because in the meantime, before we even recorded, I could listen to them on my phone and sort of see, what feels like a good first track or what feels like a good last track. So in knowing the sequence, when I was recording it, it allowed me to sort of imagine where I wanted the impact to be as the album moved along. So the last track on the record actually feels to me like a last song, and it was great to sort of know that going into it.
That's great. So how many songs were in the album?
It's going to be a 10-song album.
Right.
I believe in 10. I think that's a good number. I mean, I like 12. I like 14. I am a big album fan, but I think in the last decade or more, knowing the attention that is given to listening to a record and still wanting to be a person that makes a record, I think that 10 is sort of the perfect number for it. For the time.
Are you releasing this thing on album-friendly formats like CD or vinyl, or even I hear even tape is coming back?
Tape's coming back. It's actually being manufactured for vinyl right now. So
nice. It
will be out on vinyl. Well, the record comes out June 20th, but we have a show at North by Northeast. So it's going to be. We plan to sell it on the June 13th, so a week before the release. Try and entice people to come out and get it. So I'm pretty excited to have the physical of it. And as far as anything else, will just be a digital streaming sort of situation.
Is that like a I don't want to say a strategic lineup kind of thing, or like just playing a little bit of throwback type of music? It's R&B from the 70s, like you said, that type of thing. Is that something about vinyl works and our fan base kind of aligns with that kind of vibe, or that kind of consumerism, as it were?
Sure. Yeah, I feel like in most cases of playing local shows, it seems as though people really do like going to the merch table. Like you'll see people coming along, and I think vinyl is just something. It's eye candy, and I think that people like it, whether or not they even own a record player. I'm not sure. I think I selfishly do it because I am such a vinyl person. I've got a big record collection and a system that I feel happy with, and every record that's ever meant anything to me, I've had to own it in that format. So for me, it's just like standard. It's like I make a record and making it, to me, the idea of making it is to be on a record, because it's hard to imagine the realities of anything else. So
now that you've got this, all the recording has been done at this point, and it's all been mastered and so on.
yeah.
What are you doing to get it out into the world? Because it's easy to make music, but it's much more difficult to get people to actually pay attention. So what are you doing on that road?
Well, another side part of it is that I have my own record label. So with that, I have a worldwide distro deal with a company called The Orchard. The Orchard is a subsidiary of Sony. So as far as releasing it, I have the ability. It's already been submitted, and it has a release date, and it hits all the platforms on June 20th. And in the meantime, I have hired a PR company to be working it. CBC plays a lot of our music. There seems to be a lot of support coming from them. I work with a person that helps with pitching to playlists. So the DSPs are definitely considered for it. Exclaim Magazine has been a big help to us. We continue to work with them. They've brought a lot of attention towards our shows and our music. And then this label showcase, we've been able to secure a showcase with North by Northeast. So all the artists playing on June 13th are bands that are on the same label as us. It's called Lovetown Records, and we basically started it to not only put out our own music, but also to sort of band with other people that are in and around Ontario and maybe greater as this expands, that care about soul, jazz, R&B, that type of thing. Because being in bands and having been in the scene for a long time, there's a lot of indie record labels, but they're all, a lot of them are pretty focused on other types of music than this. So I feel that in the UK and in the States, there's a lot of intentional and great newer record labels that focus on this sound. Like Daptone is one that's still kicking, and there's another one out of New York called Big Crown. And those are the sort of labels that inspire me to sort of do this. So yeah, I feel like I have my own personal motivation, and I've made connections throughout the years of doing the stuff, and I'm just researching and trying to be with it. The majority of what I can do is pushing on social media and using Meta and stuff like that. I still believe in making music videos when we can. A lot of it's out of pocket, or using show money to try and help drive any of these sorts of additional bits of support from people we can get. PR, I do find, helps. Doesn't always help. I've gone through a lot. So I think everything at this point is just a DIY artist just researching. And
yeah. I was going to say, like, you're doing it all DIY. It sounds like you're not working with a publicist or anything like that, are you?
No, it's just me. So.
Wow.
You did hire a PR person, though, right?
PR for the record, yeah. So
yeah, okay.
So when that comes out, I think that there's a bit of a radio that is in that mix. We played a show at the Great Hall in Toronto not that long ago, and it did really well for us. There was a good turnout and a good amount of people. There was a person there that I guess works with the radio, mostly of the most radio programming, and I think that they're going to help, especially with this track that you just played, Rock With Me. That song comes out next Friday, and it's sort of, we've released a couple other songs so far from this record to sort of ramp up awareness for it. But I feel like I've staggered the releases, and this is one of those songs I've held on a little bit longer because I feel like maybe there's a possibility that it could do more for us.
Very cool. Yeah, it's
very nice.
What a great idea about getting your finding other people who do the same kind of music to sort of support each other, because that really does help. One of my complaints about playing the Toronto bar scene is you play a show with all these different bands, and they all had nothing to do with each other. And I used to think, well, that's kind of a waste, because you're not going to, get fans from anyone else. I mean, if you're playing like alt country and then there's a metal band, I mean, there might be some crossover, but not that much, I think. So it's a very wise thing to do.
Yes, I feel the same as you. I sort of, I played a lot throughout the years, and sort of thought to myself as a singer-songwriter, I never felt any insecurity or competitive part of it. I always saw music as, from the get-go, as something to be shared. So in understanding that, I was always excited to meet other people. And I realized pretty quickly that there's a lot of ego in it, and I think that that's what's missing, and the ability, especially with this sort of style of music, is it really does play well with the idea of collaboration and love and some different themes. So meeting some of these other bands, they seem to be pretty positive about being, in a sort of collective and working together, and just more down to earth sort of group of people. So more people working on it is better, rather than just staying close and guarded and thinking that your thing is God's gift. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there's nothing quite like community, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You got a great idea. People feel the same way. That's always a great thing.
Yeah, and it's a great track. As someone who's a big
song, super catchy.
A Motown fan. Yeah, definitely right up my alley.
Awesome. I'm happy that you enjoy it. That's great.
Yeah, very much so. I'll be sure to be following the rest of your stuff and get your. If only I had a record player. I've never had a record player of my own.
Maybe now's the time.
Yeah, maybe. They'll come with USB ports now. You just digitize it right away.
That's right. And they're selling records in Indigo, so brand new records. There you go.
Yeah, I know. And they're tremendously expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's all part of the hobby.
It's all part of the hobby. The most expensive hobby in the world. Okay, I think I'm hearing the band. I think that's all the time we have on Song Talk Radio. Special thanks to Brent Jackson and the Sunshine Makers. So where can our listeners find out more about you and hear some more of the music?
Sure. Yeah, they can go to our website, which is sunshinemakersmusic.com. Sunshine Makers Music on Instagram. We're also on Facebook as well, and it's at Makers Sunshine. It's backwards on X, but you can of course. You can go on you can go on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all that kind of stuff, and where you can find us. If you find us on Instagram, I respond. If you DM us, listen to the radio, listen to this podcast, listen to CBC. Maybe you'll hear it. Maybe you'll see us in an Exclaim issue across the country. You never know. So, and if you live in France, apparently they're playing us. So
there you go.
Mais oui.
Yeah.
Très bien. Very nice. Okay. And we want to hear from you too. So please send your comments on Facebook or Instagram to @SongTalkRadio, or send us an email, feedback@songtalk.ca. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for live performance videos and full episodes. And subscribe today to the Song Talk Radio podcast on your favorite podcast provider. And please support us at our Patreon page. You can visit songtalk.ca/support. Thanks to all who have supported us so far. And you can find links to all the products, books, and web services we mentioned on the show on our resources page on the website. And please join us at our next monthly Song Talk meetup, whether you're in Toronto for our in-person meetups or anywhere in the world for our online meetups. It's free to join on meetup.com and free to attend. Bring a song and a lyric sheet and get constructive feedback from other songwriters. Stop by songtalk.ca for the link. You can follow me at neilmodi.com. You can follow Phil.
PhilEmery.ca.
And Brent, what's your guys' favorite social media platform? Where do you guys post the most?
Instagram.
All right. Of course. Be sure to follow them on Instagram.
That's where we do it.
Be sure to stop by the website, songtalk.ca, to browse past shows and find out how you can be a guest. Thanks for tuning in, and keep on writing.
Good night, everyone.